Remember when you needed a job and you had to gather all your transcripts, get all your information, and then you had to ask someone for the dreaded reference letter. May I have a reference letter, please? My heart aches kind of as my youngest son is who graduated is now going through that process. And it occurred to me that to imagine, what if I received a reference letter from rejection? What would it look like? What would it say? Because let's be real, every one of us, I would imagine, has experienced rejection at some point or another in their lives. And when you experience rejection, it can leave a scar or a stain. And these whispers start seeping into your spirit. Here's what I imagine a reference letter from rejection would say: To whom it may concern, I am pleased to recommend Donna for a lifetime of second guessing her worth. She excels in shrinking back, apologizing for existing, and believing she's too much and never enough all at once. Her qualifications include overthinking every silence. She reads between the lines even when there are none, wondering if the pause in the text, the quiet in a room, or the lack of response means she did something wrong. That one, oh my gosh, I just experienced that in Georgia. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I literally experienced that qualification in Georgia. Uh, Second qualification, interpreting absence as unworthiness. When someone pulls away, she doesn't just feel the difference, she starts believing she caused it, that she wasn't enough for the other person to stay. She masters in self blame and comparison. She's actually got a PhD in pointing fingers at herself and scrolling through the reels in Facebook that make her feel like she's falling behind in a race she didn't sign up for. Donna is best suited for roles where she remains unseen, unheard, and undervalued. Trust me, she'll never ask for more. Sincerely, Rejection, the expert in distortion. Can anybody relate to that letter that I read? Were you able to tweeze out some lies that rejection whispers to you? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. Hi, I'm Donna Scott. I am a speaker and author, author of The Tapestry of Trauma, Transforming the Tangles of Childhood Sexual Abuse into God's Masterpiece. I'm also a licensed in marriage and family therapist and life coach. And this month, we are on week 3 of Reclaiming Your Joy, Healing After Rejection. Rejection, again, can play such a big part in our lives and in the message we tell ourselves. Rejection can come in so many forms. Psalms 27:10 gives a description of rejection when it says, when my father and mother forsake me, then the Lord will take care of me. Talking about abandonment from parents. We need, in the first 5 years, our sense of worth is developed by the way our caregivers are there for us. And if that verse was true for you, whether your parents were in the room or in the home, or if they were not, or if they were emotionally unavailable for you, that's abandonment. And abandonment definitely gives birth to rejection, not feeling good enough, not worthy of the parent's attention. You fill in the blank where it works for you. A couple of weeks ago, when I was in Georgia, I was at a Christian writers and speakers conference, and someone I have known for a couple of years, we've kind of been in the room together, and I kept noticing her, and I kept wanting to speak to her, and and it just was feeling off, right? So then I remember she was kind of sitting across from me, and I knew I was in her point of view, and I was like, I was feeling that sense of rejection, right? Oh my gosh, why won't she talk to me? And then the Lord brought the words up. What do you tell your clients? Thou shalt not assume. Don't assume. Check it out, right? So after she got up talking with her other conversation and she walked past me, I called her name out like, hey, and she ignored me. And then I said it again louder, and she turned her head and looked right at me, which let me know she did know I was aware. She was aware of me. And she said, hi, Donna, and kept walking. Oh boy. Oh boy. That stab of rejection just nailed me. And you know, I just gotta say, side note, it's pretty fascinating to me when the Lord gives me a message, he gives me the experience. Somehow in that month, I experienced what I'm trying to help you heal from. Oh my gosh. So of course, Satan was whispering these lies, these oh, not good enough. What did you do? You're not good enough. Now, here's what was also happening. Amazing encounters, reconnection, powerful word from God. But what was whispering louder was rejection. Until the Lord reminded me, this is not who I am. And guess what? This is not who you are either. This is not who we are. That pain of rejection is real. Don't get me wrong. And these lies that just penetrate are wrong. They're not true. Listen to me. Please hear me when I say this. Rejection is something you experience, but rejection does not define who you are. Rejection does not have that right. Rejection doesn't have the right to write a reference letter for you. This is not who you are. This is a lie from the pit of hell. The pain I experienced in that moment, extremely real. What did I do with that pain? I took it to the Lord. I honored it. I recognized it, and I owned it. And in that moment, he started reminding me that one encounter did not match the 10 or more encounters I had had the whole weekend. It didn't match the word that he sent through the messages. It didn't match the divine encounter that I had reuniting with a sister who prayed for me last year and then checked in with me this year. And then God did something amazing and gave me the opportunity to pray for her. And now we're going to be prayer partners in this writing journey together. All that happened the same weekend as this moment of rejection. And God was like, are you going to let that moment of rejection steal your joy. And I'm not going to lie, for a moments, it did. Until I turned to the source of my joy. Until I had that opportunity to remember and know what God says about me. One of our speakers that weekend was Tara Lee Cobb. And for those of you who aren't familiar with her, she is the author of the Bible Recap. And she does a 365-day Bible reading plan. For those of you who are ready to discipline yourselves and read the whole Bible in a year, she gives you an outline. And at the end of each day, if you buy her book, she's written out her recap. Or if you're like me and you're very visual, you turn to YouTube and you watch the video that she has recorded. For those of you who listen to her, you'll notice at the end of every recap, and her point is, it's not about seeing you, it's about seeing God in his word. And she ends every single time, various different ways, with the phrase, he's where the joy is. And when I had the privilege of hearing her live, which was another one of God's blessing, that overlooked and overpassed and just drowned the rejection, she shared the source of that verse for her. And I want to share that with you. That verse comes, and it's in the comments. I have that for you. It's in Psalms 16:11. And these are the words. You will show me the path of life. In your presence is fullness of joy. In your right hand, there are pleasures evermore. See, while I experienced that rejection, and there was more than one episode. There was another time I was heading to the bathroom, she was coming, walked right past me, looked away. Experienced those moments of rejection when I was in his presence, which guess what? We're in his presence 24/7. Because Psalms 139 tells us, where can we go to escape his presence? If we go up, if we go down, if we turn around, he's there. And this psalm is saying, in his presence, there is fullness of joy. That is truth. I had to, in Georgia, reclaim my joy because I was reminded that the joy is in his presence. And every one of us who's God's daughter or God's son, you are in his presence. And in his presence, joy awaits. You experience rejection. You experience abandonment. You hear those lies when that partner walks away, that friend ghosts you. You hear that. And Tara Lee shares her her experience of rejection when she talks about feeling single. And yet she can say he's where the joy is. Because he is. Now I want you to imagine with me a reference letter from God. And it'll go something like this. To whom it may concern, I joyfully recommend Donna, my beloved daughter, for every calling I've placed on her life. She is chosen, equipped, and deeply loved. Her qualifications include strength forged in suffering, compassion shaped by pain, and faith that refuses to quit. Donna is perfectly suited for the roles that require grace, truth, and courage. I have called her by name. She is mine. With everlasting love, God, the author of identity, the restorer of worth. When rejection's lies wants to steal your identity, go to the one who has the right to call you and give you an identity because he created you. He created you to be his masterpiece. So here's my challenge for you this week. I want you to write down one lie that Satan, through the power of rejection, has whispered to you. After you write down that lie, I want you to then write God's truth over it. For example, if you wrote unlovable, because when you've been abandoned, it's very hard to feel loved, right? So you would write down the lie, unlovable. What is God's truth? God's truth is he loves you. We have John 3:16, for God so loved the world. But let's take it a little personal. And I'm going to give you bonus points if you write the lie and you write God's truth and you have a verse to back it up. So let me give you one. Jeremiah 31:3. When you feel unloved, write this truth from God. The Lord has appeared of old to me, saying, yes, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore, with loving kindness, I have drawn you. Right? Rejection says unlovable. God says, I loved you so much that I've drawn you to me. We've got to delete rejection's lies. Believe God's truth. And in his presence, he's where the joy is. You don't have to wait to heal from the rejection. It's a process. But you can absolutely claim the joy that God promises you as you heal. And learn that you are not rejected by the God of the universe. You are loved, valued, and appreciated. Can I get an amen? Hey, if you're watching live or if you're watching on the replay, I would love for you to put in the comments a lie and then add the God's truth that he's given you. Let's swap the lie for the truth and let's live in God's truth and live in the joy he has for us. Amen. All right. Next week, we're going to conclude this series with the joy revival continues. Because, right, joy kind of gets submerged under rejection. We're going to revive that and share more. For those who are in the San Diego area on Saturday, I will be doing a marriage conference at Love of Christ Fellowship Church. I'm going to put the link in the comments for you. It's $25 per couple, married or engaged. And I hope to see you there. The Lord has given me a message for how to talk when you want to walk, having those difficult conversations. And the second workshop, yeah, I'm doing two. Did I mention pray for me? Pray for me, please. The second workshop is Forgive to Live, turning bitterness to better. And when it's a workshop, couples, when you sign up, be prepared to work because God has a message for your marriage, but he also wants you to be able to practice what you learn. So it's $25 per couple. I'll put the link in it. It's the conference is Married and Mighty because that's God's plan for your marriage. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you next time as we conclude our series, Reclaiming Joy, Healing After Rejection. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to put the lie replaced by God's truth in the comments for me. Thanks. Have a blessed day. Bye.